Hey guys, what's up? It's Ella. So, a lot of Mets fans are upset about the Mets trade deadline because we had been associated with people like Trey Mancini, he went to the Astros, um, JD Martinez, who wasn't traded, like Juan Soto and Josh Bell, who went to the Padres, and more people like Contreras and stuff. And we didn't really get any big names or anything. And then teams in our division, like the Phillies got Syndergaard, and the Braves got Odorizzi and Iglesias. But the thing is, the Braves, like even though they got people who have like big names, Iglesias hasn't been that good this year with an ERA like barely sub 4, which for a reliever isn't very good. And Odorizzi's been like mediocre his whole career, like ERA also hovering around 4. And this year it's like barely sub 4, which is like not bad, but it's not gonna make or break the team. Also, he had a start against the Mets and he didn't pitch very well. And the Mets, while they didn't get any big names on paper, while they didn't give up much, although they did trade away JD Davis for Darren Ruff, which I think was enough for Darren Ruff, and they also threw in 3 other prospects, I think, which is kind of crazy because he's not worth that much. But I think that's the only person that they overpaid for. They got Vogelback for Colin Holderman, which is I think a really good deal because Vogelback, since he's been a Met, he's batting .333 with 2 home runs, 7 RBIs, OPS above 1,000, and like he's just doing so well for us. And he also walks like a crazy person, and he's really fun to like watch run around the bases. Like I don't know, like I like him. He's playing like very well and also like way better than you'd expect. And also he crushes righties, which is nice because Darren Ruff crushes lefties. So if you like combine them, they make like a pretty solid DH. So instead of overpaying for 1 DH, they underpaid for like 2 that make 1. Like the Padres gave up like basically their entire farm system for Soto and Bell, and I don't even think it'll be enough. Although they'll probably still keep their wild card spot, so I guess that's what it's for. But it's not going to challenge the Dodgers, who are the best team in baseball right now. Also, the Mets got Tyler Naquin and Michael Givens, who's a solid reliever, although he hasn't been good for the Mets when he's pitched. But I think, also, we just got back James McCann, Trevor May, and Jacob DeGrom. Jacob DeGrom's the best pitcher in baseball, and yesterday or 2 days ago, he came back and he almost threw a perfect game. Well, not almost, through 6, almost he threw a perfect game. But he was on a pitch count, and Dansby Swanson hit a home run. But he you know what I mean. And James McCann, while he hasn't been hitting that well lately, he's a very good catcher. Like, he knows how to call the games. He's very good at framing. He's very good defensively. Like, he can throw people out, like, when they're trying to steal. And then Trevor May is just another, solid reliever to add to our bullpen. So we got 2 relievers, a starter, and then 3 people who qualify as a DH. And we didn't give up that many people. Although I am sad about JD Davis because he's mashing as a Giant, and I also like him as a person, and I think he's a good teammate, and he's friends with a lot of people on the team, so I was a little sad about that. But, yeah, also the Mets have won, I think 14 games since the All-Star break out of, 18 or something like that. And in their last, I think because they've won 13 out of the last 15. So they have won, I don't know. They've won 13 out of the last 15. That's all you need to know. So, yeah, that's why the Mets actually, their acquisitions are better than they are on paper. And I think that they didn't really need to make a big splash. And our GM, Billy Epler, said that he was getting no pressure from Steve Cohen to make a big splash. And think about it like this. The Mets have made so many big moves. and which is great, but I feel like they don't have to every single time. Like last year, they gave up their number 5 prospect to get Javi Baez, and Javi Baez did really well, like the best he's done in years, but it wasn't enough to give them the push, and now they lost a prospect. Although they did get Trevor Williams from that, so, and he's been very helpful this year, so I mean, it depends on the way you look at it. But they also got Lindor, they got Scherzer, they got Marte, they got Escobar, and this was all just over off seasons. So, like, and I'm sure they'll make more moves this offseason. Like, they have to re-sign DeGrom. So, I mean, they won't definitely do that, but I feel like that's something they'll definitely have their eye on doing. And I'm pretty sure Nimmo's going to be a free agent, too. So, yeah, I mean, they just, like, I feel like Mets fans are going to be upset and embarrassed if they don't do something one time. But, I mean, they made small moves, and the small moves add up. That's what the Braves did last year. And last I checked, they won the World Series. So, Mets World Series 2022. Goodbye.